This is Between Hook Sets. I'm Jason Walter from In Through the Outdoors with my partner in slime, Kurt Underhill from the Fishing Crew.
What is up tonight, dude?
Not much. Were you just doing the neck cracking thing?
Oh, yeah, my neck's been out. I went to the chiropractor the other day, and I got a massage on Friday. I cannot wait.
Really? I maybe need one of those. I've been having trouble with pillows, right? So basically, I'm having pillow trouble. And I found that the $10 rubber chunky Walmart pillow is way better. I have less back problems, less neck problems, and that kind of thing. And it's pretty impressive. It really is. It's pretty neat. So, I hate to admit it out loud, but we did some walleye fishing last weekend, and we caught fish trolling.
Whoa. I got to tell you that I was out fishing the little local little neighborhood derb, and we practiced Friday, and we pulled up on a spot, and if there were 7 fish, there were 7,000.
Oh, sure. Okay.
The best way to describe the live scope was like being at Walmart and fishing in the fish tanks. And you know how scoping in the back of the boat was, but that day it didn't matter because Ryan driving the boat in the front, he didn't have to run to get fish, and I could cast anywhere. And I mean, but every fish we caught in that spot was 20 to 23 inches.
So can I say it out loud? I'm just asking because I talk to people, right?
Yeah.
Was it Cow Creek?
No.
Really?
No, we were north. Yeah.
Okay. Oh,
we were in the Cheyenne, but we were north. And then we moved around a little bit, caught some slots. I think I brought some fish home because I don't get a catch fish much, so I wanted to make some fresh fish, and we brought some fish home, but I think we probably caught a dozen fish that day. I did catch a 19 and a quarter sauger that went 2.8.
Whoa. And you didn't send me a picture?
No, I didn't think of it. It was insane. Like,
you're just too busy fishing.
Yeah, we were just fishing, and we did go south to Spring Creek on Friday and didn't catch a fish.
Really?
We marked anything. Go up to our spot on Saturday, no fish. I mean, the fish were there, but they're not like we were. Put some cranks down. Saw some more big pods of fish. Couldn't get them to bite. Did a bunch of jumping around. Ended up pulling cranks and over the trees, catching some fish, but nothing. I think we weighed 5 fish for 8 pounds.
Really?
And everybody who was ahead of us went south.
Kidding. We marked fish. I marked like crazy at 21 and a half. I don't care where I was. That's where they were. Could we catch them Saturday? No. Decided to give it all up and just pull bouncers in another spot. And I had a Chase and Walter special on, and the kids are like, how come you keep catching them all? I'm like, well, because I was down where the fish were. I don't think they were quite handling the bouncers right. So I'd set one and hand the rod off. Yeah. And the kids had a good time, but it was fun to just catch some fish the old fashioned way, some walleye the old fashioned way. It was a ton of fun. We were working a point and a steep drop. A nice break, and it was a ton of fun. I had a blast. Speaking of a blast, we're going to have a good time tonight too, because I hate to call this guy an old man, right? but we're going to go back. His rookie year was it 2013, the first year of the National Walleye Tour, and we've always wanted to have Jacob L on, and we've got the L train on tonight. So I'm looking forward to the conversation. Jake.
How's it going, guys?
Oh,
fantastic.
Yourself? I mean, he called you old, but I think we're all old at this point, right?
I've kind of been joking about that this year on the tour. I'm not old, but I'm starting to feel old with all these younger kids joining and kicking everybody's butt. So
all these 18, 19-year-olds, we are the old guys, right? He was talking catching fish,
and that's why I say what I say. That's why I say what I say, because we have had youngsters on, and it's been great to have them on. It's been a ton of fun. But you're all of are you 38? Okay, 38. I was going to say 39 because we were talking 19-year-olds, but I thought, well, I don't want to make you older than you actually are. But okay, so 39. That's not old, but we've got to go back to 2013. We go back to Gilman. We go back to your rookie year. Was it 2013?
Yeah, it was. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So honestly, I guess let's find out the whole Bismarck story and find out your life, and then we'll go back and start with a national walleye tour in 2013. But you live in Bismarck now. Did you grow up in Bismarck?
Born and raised in Bismarck. Really haven't ventured too far away. I went to Fargo, tried out college there for 2 years, and thought I was going to be an engineer when I went there. Figured out that wasn't going to happen real quick, and then I decided to try out natural resources management, thinking I was going to go into fisheries, and just kind of wanted more money than what that was, and figured that probably not too much job opportunities to stick around here, and decided there was instrumentation controls at BSC, so ended up moving back home, did that program in 2 years, and ended up having a job before I graduated, and ended up moving north, close to Stanley, North Dakota. Was working at a gas plant for about 8 years, and opportunity came about to get into sales, and ended up coming over to company Power Controls that I'm still with now, and been with them for 8 years now. So
cool. And
the biggest thing was just getting back to Bismarck, because I love this Missouri River. We get a benefit from South Dakota's great slots.
Isn't that the truth?
Get to take advantage of all those big females that move up the river, and I don't plan on moving away from here. So just for that reason.
You can boat fish a lot earlier than most, like me and Pierre, right? We can, we boat fish year round here because of the dam, it never freezes. And if it does, it's such skim ice that it's gone in a couple days. But yeah, and then you get the big water an hour north of you, and it's not bad.
Right.
So you lived in Fargo? Oh, there's Husted. Chris?
He says he knows where to get his chubs. But yeah, so
I need some. I don't need some, but it's I have more so just a hate relationship with creek chubs.
I think
would not be opposed if we just go to just artificials only moving forward.
I don't have the patience for them, right? I mean, you gotta.
No, I just stink at keeping them alive, and that's my own fault. But
they are a pain in the ass. They are not for the lazy, right? I mean, you got to have them the perfect temperature. Everything's got to be perfect, which surprises me because they survive on their own in a creek somewhere along the line that can't be perfect.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Well, you can't feed them and then not look at them for 2 days. Ammonia level just gets a little too high, and they just all die. So it happens.
I have a horror story on creek chubs. I was fresh out of college. My dad was fishing an RCL out of Pierre, and his partner said he would take care of the chubs that night, and he was using red tail creek chubs back when you could bring them across the border. And his buddy didn't put well water in them, put tap water in them, killed all his chubs.
Oh, no.
So my dad called me, and he's like, hey, you and Felby are getting in the truck, and you're going to Alexandria, Minnesota, and picking me up creek chubs. I need them tomorrow. And my buddy Felby had a black S10, like tinted windows. So we hopped in that truck and drove to Alexandria, Minnesota at 5 o'clock at night, went to some sketchy backyard and picked up a cooler full of creek chubs. Like, it looked like a drug run of all drug runs, right? Like 2 young kids in a black S10 with tinted windows, and we're pulling up to a sketchy neighborhood to pick up creek chubs. And we started driving back as far as we could. Neither of us could take it anymore. We pulled over in Millbank. I opened the cooler. The creek chubs were good. I checked them. I got up. We got to Aberdeen, or we got the next morning, and every creek chub was dead. And I didn't have the heart to call my dad until they were dead. So I drove to every bait shop between Millbank, South Dakota, and Pierre. And in Aberdeen, I found sucker chubs, and I bought them for him.
Oh, good Lord.
Every 15 minutes, I'd put ice on them, pull ice off, put ice, pull up. It was the whole way here, and I get here, and he's like, I'm going to bed. By the way, you have sucker chubs. That's all I could get you. He's like, that was like $2,000 in creek chubs dead, and he never got to use them. I hate creek chubs.
Your story's better than mine, way better than mine. I was broke one time, and we ate the big ones.
So Jacob, you've been around this game for quite a few years, going on your 13th season here. You've made a few championships. You're going to make the championship this year. What has changed in your mind in the industry other than the obvious, the forward-facing sonar? What has changed in this game for you?
I mean, it's just forward-facing. I mean, I would say that's the biggest thing I don't know really what else. I mean, it's just technology, just from when I first started and to where we're at now. I mean, that's probably our biggest, and that's just elevated everybody's, I want to say, probably fishing. So I mean, that's helped me. I mean, just from year after year, and then I think this year is kind of looking at how I've done. It's only because we've been to all pretty much forward-facing places, and just getting better at it, knowing what you're looking at, and it's helped quite a bit. So
Jig and Rap's been a part of your career in the National Walleye Tour since the beginning, right?
Say that again?
Did you use the Jig and Rap? Were you using that early on?
Jig and Raps is, yep. Yeah. I mean, depending on where you go, especially Devil's Lake, that's probably the number one place that sticks out.
Yeah. Were you using it when Al, and I don't remember when it was that Al, maybe it was 2008, 2009. I know I was out here fishing it with my buddies, and they're like, what the hell are you doing? Because I'm sitting there doing this, not knowing what the heck I'm doing. And they're like, are you stupid? I'm like, no, it's a Jig and Rap. Have you not watched Al Lindner? And nothing. And all of a sudden it ends up winning the National Walleye Tour championship. And, and then the world caught on, right? And it went crazy. And so did you fish it at all before you got into the National Walleye Tour, or did you start learning more about it once you got in 13?
I think probably started using it more once I really got into tournament fishing, and looking back at why it did work. Just ripping it like that, how much it goes up in the air, to where majority of what we're looking at now is suspended fish. Well, Jig and Rap's working because it's getting up to where they're at. They see it, chase it back down, and that's more than likely how we were catching those fish. Is just kind of how I gotta perceive things, I guess, is looking back on stuff. But
that's a very good point. I've never thought of that aspect of back when guys were doing it before live scope and doing it on 2D. You're right, they're probably seeing fish on the bottom, but they were probably ripping it so high that the ones were chasing it down. You never even seen that fish on your graph,
more than likely.
Because we didn't know they were really there. And that's probably the first and the greatest thing I've ever heard about fishing it with 2D. We had Chad Chilling in that one year after the Gov Cup talking about how they were doing it, dialing in 2D and driving and seeing the fish and then throwing the boat in reverse and casting behind the boat, way before live scope came out. But yeah, that's probably exactly what you were doing, is pulling those fish from up high to the bottom.
Obviously there's probably fish on the bottom yet, but I still think that's more than likely a lot of those fishes were probably suspended fish.
Yeah, now that we know walleye are everywhere.
Right.
Yeah. So you get in the game in 2013, you walk in your freshman year, and back then you had some true legends. Keenan was still rolling around, Chris Gilman, you had some, coming in as your rookie season. Look back on that 13 years later. What do you think it was like when you walked in? Did you have a team when you walked in, or were you just, hey, I'm here, I'm Jacob L?
No, that's pretty much how I did it. It was kind of, just getting into it's something that I always wanted to do. And I fished one FLW tournament down in Pier that would have been 2011. And then I ended up as a co-angler. And then in 2012, I fished all of them as a co-angler. And then I had a few pros that year, I honestly don't remember their names, but it was like, well, one of them ended up giving up like midday, like they weren't going to be in it. And I was like, man, if I'm going to do this, this is not, I don't want to spend my money on doing this. So what really helped is at the end of the year when they decided to end the FLW and announced that the NWT was going to start, it's like, oh, well, new circuit's going to start. If this is probably the best opportunity just to hop in. And that was kind of how I made my decision on hopping over to the pro side and start fishing these. Luckily, I had a good job. I had vacation time. So that was kind of how I decided to hop over. So, and been doing it ever since. But back to the first year, I didn't know anybody. I didn't have any contacts. I just learned as I went, I guess. I mean, I still remember back on when Mississippi River was the first tournament. I can't remember. I think I took 8th or 9th at my first event. So that kind of really helps out and really helps the spark of maybe you can do this.
Build confidence.
A little bit.
Yeah.
And, but Sheldon Meidinger was one going out to Lake Erie. I had no idea kind of what was going on out there, tackle wise, whatever. And he helped me out he borrowed me his tackle spinner stuff and kind of set me in somewhat of a direction on what to start doing out there. But I mean, as you progress and start going to these places, you start learning more, and year after year, it just kind of comes together. I mean, one of the biggest things is I joke about all the time is just how often we go back to Green Bay. Like, go look at my track record there. I mean, I had some horrific days on Green Bay, and as of recently, I tend to do all right out there, but it also helps that we go out there every year.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
But then the more you fish it, the better you should become, right?
You should.
We've had Bo on quite a bit. And, I talked to Chad and talking to him before the season started when they jumped on. And obviously Chad has earned his stripes over many years of different circuits, PWT, FLW, Ames. He's kind of been through all the ringers. And, talking to Chad, like, hey, your kid's 18 heading out to do these things. Is he scared for any? And he's like, no. And I'm like, well, he's never been to Green Bay or Lake Erie, or anything like that. And he's like, yeah, it doesn't matter. And I remember Chad was at the graphic shop the first day Bo got to Lake Erie this year. And Bo was so excited. He drove through the night, slept in his pickup, all the things an 18-year-old kid would do. And Chad called him and he's like, well, I learned 2 things. This lake is absolutely huge. I don't even know what to do. And number 2, they don't call them boat ramps. They call them launches here. I've been to 5 boat marinas. And I cannot find a place to put my boat in. So
Not to be young.
But yeah.
Well, I mean, for Bo, it's like, he's got his dad. If there was anybody else, if there was one person that you would want showing you the way on these bodies of water, that's probably one guy that you would want.
Yeah. But you go out with nothing like that, right? And you're just going out and you're blind. And how long did it take you to start mingling and teaming up? And because you travel now with Bill Shimoda and Corey Heiser.
Yep.
That's kind of your team.
I've fished alone for the first 2 years, 2013 and 2014. And then I teamed up with Ryan Jerk and RJ Harwood in 2015 and fished with them for a few years. They kind of got out of it and hopped over with a couple other guys. And then after that, it was teamed up with Bill and Corey and been with them for a few years now. So, which has been good, it's fun. That's one thing about teaming up is teaming up with the right guys. I mean, you're spending an entire week with them, and I couldn't imagine doing it with someone or that you couldn't travel with. So being with the right guys that you can, that are knowledgeable, that that you can trust, know that trust that they're covering water and you don't have to worry about it. That helps out a lot.
Well, and that's the game, coming from what we run here in South Dakota with all our, our Gov Cups and that stuff. And you hear these guys teaming up and I've heard horror stories and I get told, well, we were teamed up and then he did this or whatever. And I'm like, guys, like not only do you have to find the right partner in a tournament, a 2-person tournament, when you're teaming up with people, you got to be on the same page. I mean, I've heard so many stories of we were teamed up and everybody was supposed to stay out of our spot. And then I'm leading it after day one. And I go there and the other teammates are in the spot where I caught them. There is more to just teaming up than finding a couple guys that, hey, we click and we like to have a beer at the rules meeting together and we're going to be a team.
Right.
I'm sure I'm not going to ask you to get into any horror stories, but I'm sure you have horror stories over 13 years of doing this where you're like, wow, that guy kind of hosed me or.
Fortunately, I do not.
Oh, good.
Really? Good for you.
That's awesome because I think you're one of the few, right?
Yeah, I've heard those same horror stories, and it's like in my mind, you don't have to team up just to team up. Or, I mean, yeah, it's nice to have extra people to cover water just because some of these places are so big but the biggest thing is just finding the right guys. Yeah. And I've been fortunate with that. So
yeah. And I think that, like I said, that's the biggest thing is finding the right guys you click with and you trust them, right? At the end of the day, you trust them, you throw them the keys to your truck and boat if they needed it. Right. I think that's the biggest thing, but yeah, getting into it, you guys are coming into your 13th year championship on Chicagoia. I asked you before the show started, are you ready? And your answer was, I could be less ready than you can imagine. Let's talk about what Chicagoia is low, right? I mean, I'm guessing it's 25 feet down.
It's 20 feet, I think, what I've seen. So 20 feet below full pool. But it's not uncommon because I looked at that. I mean, in the last time it was at this level was 2023. So unless ChatGPT is lying to me, AI doesn't lie,
could
right?
Be. Yeah,
so,
right. Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, that's what I found. So it's not abnormal and it's a reservoir. So you guys are familiar with reservoirs. It's just more so congregates fish than, I mean, higher the water is, I think, makes it more. I mean, they got more places to go. So it's
I guess really the only thing that sucks about it is the fact that it's easier for them to go deeper longer, right?
Yeah.
There's less shallow water. There's less 10 feet to hang in. There's less, and I realize that if you look at the bathymetry and you look at the contour map, and it just all of a sudden, the more the water goes down, the quicker the water drops. You don't have as many 12-foot flats. You don't have a 20-foot flat. You don't have as many 12-foot breaks. Now all of a sudden it just seems to go from 10 foot to 30 foot. It's been a long time since I fished on Sakakawea, but that body of water up there is amazing, has amazing fish in it. And there's some amazing fishermen hanging up there in North Dakota too. Some of these young guys are, and we've had them on the show. They are impressive. Do they, I'm not going to say, do they scare you, but do you enjoy the young competition? Do you get into that?
It does. I don't think about it too much, I guess. Again, it's the older I get, it's good to see that there is younger kids that are getting into this and are able to. So, but in North Dakota, North Dakota, I'm sure there'll be a lot more people fishing the NWT, but it's all time, job, to where I'm fortunate I'm able to, and everyone that is fishing it is able to, or at the same time don't have kids either. So I don't, it's majority where my money's going is just into tournament fishing and fishing. So I guess I'm fortunate in that aspect, but I don't think about it too much if they scare me or not, but there's a lot of, they're good. And
right.
there's
They're scary good, right? I mean, without actually saying they scare you, but they are scary good. I think it's kind of cool that you got a couple of young guys coming up that grew up fishing on Ashtabula, and they're kicking it just about everywhere. I think that's truly amazing.
Yeah.
And I always tell my guys here that, the guys that fish our stuff, I'm like, do you think any of these big guys are really worried about what the other big guys doing? Because at the end of the day, when that tournament starts, it's you versus the fish. It's not you versus Corey or Bill or Chase, or it doesn't matter. Name the guy, right? It's you versus the fish, and whoever can conquer that fish comes out on top.
Right. I mean, at the end of the day, you got to catch your 5 best fish and bring them in. And that's all there is to it. If you don't, you can't, there's some guys that worry about what everyone else. It's like you can't worry about what other people are doing, especially like practice. You got to worry about yourself, and majority of these places that we're going to have tournaments that you got a good sense of what it should take to win or be towards the top. So, I mean, in practice, that's what we're shooting to find. And that's what you got to catch during the tournament until you bring up the last tournament, Green Bay, and then that just gets blown out of the water.
Yeah, that was everybody's sentiment on stages. Wow, I thought I had a good day, and then I got to the scale. Like, I don't think anybody expected what Green Bay put out on that event, right? I mean, everybody thought, 25 pounds, I'm going to be right there, and sorry,
No, I was shooting for 35 pounds. Just that's what I was looking for. Ended up with 37 something. Thought perfect. That's better than what I was expecting. Going to sit pretty good. I ended up having an issue with my jack plate, and so I was hanging around after day 1 weigh-ins, getting that work done, and people are weighing in, and I'm just hearing 40 this, 40 that. I'm like, what did we miss? So
yeah, but you're going into the championship in 7th place. I guess I would, in my mind, I kind of think of you as the quiet contender, because there just hasn't been a whole lot. I feel like the last couple of years it's been Jacob L. You hear your name quite a bit, and this year you hear your name, but it's quietly, and it's almost like you've been stealthy, sneaking up on people.
Yeah, unfortunately, I just a little too far out of that behind in points to really do, or I mean, it's just AOI is out the window. But I mean, looking back, this has definitely been the best season that I've had since I started. So I've had a really good year, fortunate year, but it's just
not enough to get to the top, right?
Just not to the top. But
I guess there's a sense of, I don't got to worry about points. It's the last event of the year. I'm not worried about slipping anywhere. Now I can swing for it. I made it, and the only places to go, if you end up 7th or you end up 27th in points, it really doesn't matter, right? So you got one thing to accomplish in 2 weeks is win.
Right.
That's one. I think my biggest thing is I am conservative, and if I don't land on something right away, then I go straight to conservative, try to get the best bag to keep myself up there. But I don't know if there's been one that I just really swung for the fences for, and if I can get it, I have to. I'm so a mental person that I have to get that in my brain of just going for it, because the championship we're only allowed 5 fish. We get no extras. So at best, I think it's going to take at least 25 pounds a day, if not more. And it's probably going to be more with the group of guys that we got. So keeping a 3-pounder, 4-pounder isn't,
it's a no-no, right? I mean, because you could keep 5 big ones up in North Dakota. You can't have those down here, but you can have them up there. Right. So, you've got guys like Tom Wynn that could probably go catch 5 7-pounders pretty easy, and maybe he's going to have a 9 and a 10 in there. You got Bo, just about anybody could go do that, you've got a little advantage. It's your home water. You fish it, you know where the fish are, so honestly, it sounded, when you were talking to Kurt, sounded like your confidence level was, I don't want to say it was down, but I get it. You're like, yeah, I'm not prepared for this thing. And some of these young kids, they just don't care. Yeah, heck, I'm in. I'm going in. I'm winning it. I'm not keeping anything under 10 pounds. I'm keeping, whatever. And it's crazy to hear the confidence oozing out of these young guys, to the point where some think that they're a little cocky or arrogant. I'm like, no, I think they're just that confident.
Right. Maybe I like that a little bit, but it's what I like about this championship is the boundaries, and we're just, if people are familiar with our Governor's Cup boundaries, it's a lot of water, but it's not a lot of water considering how big Skakui is. So
right, they shorten the lake up a little bit, and I think that's nice.
It is. I mean, don't have to worry about that long run up to Van Hook and Shell Island and stuff. That stuff is just, don't have to worry about it. Can't do it. So
yeah,
it's all out east, and there's plenty of good water to fish, and there's good fish. I got into anything consistent? Not really. So,
but you haven't really put head down, go practice mode yet.
No, I would say I have been. I mean, That's what I would prefer. Not local tournaments compared to local tournaments myself. If that
makes sense.
Just,
I
got a full-time job, and I think this championship has just consumed my life. Hopefully no one that I work with is listening, but it's just, it has. I mean, it's home body of water, as much as I don't make it to Skakui as one would think, but I probably know more than most, but I mean, we have been here a few times. So I would say the majority of the guys, top 40 guys, have fished this body of water already. Yeah. So
let me
got an idea.
Inside that, with being there, because you've been there a few times, and I know the first one Dewey won, he made the big run up to Tobacco Gardens and did all that. With it being a boundary and the top 40 guys, a lot of them being there before, what's that going to play into the fact of, well, I've always fished this, but I've ran 40, 50 miles this way. Now I can't.
Like I said, most of these guys been here already. I would imagine they had contingency plans then. I mean, we were pretty fortunate that weekend that we had 2 days in a row that it didn't blow. So I would assume that most of the guys spent some time, because both of those tournaments were both out of Garrison as well. So we're going out of the same location. So I would venture to guess most of them have spent some time on the East End, but maybe not.
So do you worry about fishing memories? Well, on your home body, I think, isn't that maybe one of the biggest things that gets in your way is fishing memories?
No, not too worried about that too much, especially again with forward facing.
Takes that away. Yeah, right.
Yeah, you get a drop a trolling motor in, they're either there or they're not. So.
I mean, how much has that changed from 13 years ago, leading up to what we're doing now? I bet you put a lot less waypoints in your graph than you did 13 years ago.
No, I love waypoints.
Yep.
I absolutely love waypoints.
Yep, they're absolutely, they are. A matter of fact, let me look. Do you have Navionics on your phone?
Yeah.
Okay. How many waypoints do you have on your phone?
On my Navionics app,
a
few weeks ago I had to go back to other places and delete some so that I could add some more on for Scott.
Okay, you've got more than I had 1,386, and I think for me that's a hell of a lot of waypoints, right?
I had it maxed out. I don't even know how.
I don't even know what the max is. It's probably 1,500 maybe, or is it 2,000?
I mean, I pay for it. You'd think everyone.
Well, that's my thought. Is I'm paying for it. What the heck is the deal with maximum waypoints you're fishing? That's the whole point of it.
Markers, I got 981.
Okay. Yeah, so I
don't know if you can.
I don't know if you can see right there, my 1,386.
See it.
Yeah,
I'm getting hosed then.
Yeah.
yeah, right. Yeah, you like, oh look, the old guy got more waypoints than I do.
Yeah.
Right. And he can't catch a fish, save his life. No, I honestly, every time I go to a lake or I do whatever, and I think a lot of guys are like that. I'm sure you're like it too. I'm like, okay, I like the spot. I want to check this out. And the other thing that I like to do in the summer is mark ice fishing spots. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. This would be great on the ice. So I have a ton of marks from Canada to Minnesota to, I wish I had a few in Montana. It'd be great. But yeah, I don't know. Waypoints are your friend, man. That's great.
I wish, looking back, if I could do anything different, that's one thing the way I'm doing it now, I wish I would have started that back then, because they just paint a picture for the next time you're there. It's
right.
Yeah.
The labeling thing, if you're using grass for grass, tree for tree, it's rock for rock. It's you spent the time to go over that stuff and look at it. If you don't go back there for 2 years, you're probably not going to remember that stuff. So
true.
Using waypoints and at the end of the tournament, just saving it to a chip. I save it to 3 chips, and then I save it to my computer, and then I email it to myself. So
there you go. So you don't ever lose it. Well, that makes sense. Well, think about now with the water down. We've got Oahe. I think we're down 6.5 feet from March. So when I went out last weekend and took some of my son's high school buddies out, I'm like, look at all these marks that are out of the water. I'm like, oh my God. Well, there's the rock that I kept hitting that I, didn't know was there, that kind of thing. It is kind of fun to see some of those spots out of the water. Right. So,
you're getting ready to go up there. Like I said, you're in the pre-planning stages. What does that look like? If you're not close to home, what does a pre-plan for a tournament look like for you? Is it hours of phone calls with Bill and Corey saying this is what we're going to do? In 13 years, there's not many bodies of water that you probably haven't been to, for what the circuit kind of does. I hate to say it, we regurgitate a lot of the same spots. We're all guilty of it. But what's a pre-plan on going to Green Bay look like, or going to Lake Erie, or?
Those two, Lake Erie and Green Bay, it's those two are kind of different. Lake Erie is just a lot of roaming fish where Green Bay can be more structure. But Corey and Bill and I, we have our group chat that we're shooting stuff back and forth to each other all the time. But before a tournament comes, it's pretty much just loading waypoints in, just getting refamiliarized with a body of water, just to try to get a picture in my head of what everything kind of looks like. So when I get out there, I got an idea of what I'm going to do already, and which can get sidetracked in a second, but at least visualize that, like, hey, I got stuff over there. I've done good over there. Not that it's going to be good, but just to help save time rather than when I was first getting into it and not knowing areas. And you look at a body, it's like everything, like you look at a map, it's like, well, that could be good. That could be good. Right. And when I first, like Green Bay, I cancel out, I would fish everything. And nowadays it's a lot of that stuff that I originally fished. I don't even really look at, because I've fished it a few different years and have never caught anything there. So why would I continue to go back there? So yeah. Saves a lot of time.
I agree. And with forward-facing sonar now, like last weekend, I had my Lowrance in my lap, and I am going through because I'm like, you know what, we're going to go try some spots because they said things were getting hard. So I marked a bunch of stuff, and then you pull up on that mark and you spin around with the forward-facing sonar and go, nah, this place sucks. It looked great on the map, but there's nothing here. And you move on, and I think maybe the biggest thing for me, it seems like the break is a little steeper on the contour map. And then you get onto the lake and go, okay, there's just nothing here. It's truly amazing the difference in that real picture that you get from live sonar. It's something to appreciate. There's no doubt about it.
So we do have a question here, and this is more of a North Dakota AIM question, I guess. Is it a blessing or a curse to be gifted tangy snackers?
I love it. That's a great question. That's funny.
That's always good. I mean, it's free food.
Right.
They're good. So.
Right. I remember when Sheldon said he was going to bring us some tangy snackers when we were up in Devil's Lake. I think he forgot them. So I'm still holding them to some tangy snackers. Damn it.
But no, so getting ready for this one. What is your thoughts on how the year went overall do you think we had more guys chasing that top, originally top 60 going to the next year? What do you think the year went with the changes? I mean, the first year we've seen a lot of boundaries on events.
Yeah, it's been a nice change. I mean, last year we had all-time low numbers, and that gets announced, and before the season starts, kind of wonder. I mean, you got a feeling that talking to people that there's going to be more people, and then as the season happened, I mean, we had one of our best years. I mean, South Dakota, we had our best tournament ever, 160 guys. So I think that helped, that anticipation, knowing that you're only going to get in next year if you fish this year. So that, I would think, that brought in a lot of people as well. So that definitely did help.
Great for the fans. Right, because as far as the fan is concerned, only 60. So what? I mean, where are we at with that? And I don't know. Maybe only 60 would have been great. 70, 80, 90. I don't care. 160 is a lot. Sitting there, I don't remember how long weigh-in was in Mobridge, but I swear I stood there all day. And I'm not knocking on them because the National Walleye Tour stepped it up. They got called out by everybody. I think, Kurt, you and I called them out kindly. It wasn't because we understand tournaments, right? We know they're not easy. All this stuff is hard. This camera crap and this video stuff is not easy, and getting sound and everything. So, they got called out, but they came out and blew both doors open and guns blazing, and they did a great job. A little snafu here and there, but they were fantastic this year.
Well, along with the live. I mean, yeah. Allowing, not that I do it, but changing it to where the anglers are able to go live both days. That's huge. I mean, buddies that watch most of the guys and are clicking back and forth, plus watching the NWT stuff. That's where our technology is at, and that's what people expect, and that's what's going to grow our sport. So it was nice to see those changes this year.
I want to say it was Lake Erie, and I have 3 computer screens at work, and I had my iPad and my personal computer set up. I think I had 5 different live feeds running at one time, and right. I would say my only complaint on it is, if you don't know who's going live, if you don't know Drake is going live, it's hard to find it. Right.
Right.
And then that's not on the NWT. That's, and that's, the angler puts it out there. But if you don't follow them, I don't know next year if you plan on going live. And if you don't really follow you on social media, how do I know you're going to be live, right? Or where you're going live at. So it took a little bit. I'm like, well, I'm watching Josh, and I'm watching, Eric, and I'm watching, Tom. I've got all these different lives going around, and it was so much fun to watch and be able to see all the different lives and their coverage on the, on the National Walleye Trails page. It's hard, right? I mean, I tell everybody, been doing tournaments 18 years, and 18 years ago when we set up, I worried about where our scale was, where we wrote the numbers down, what we had to do. Now it's like, all right, and I'm blessed to have Chasen and Andrew out there. I used to have to worry about where cameras go. Now they go out and put the cameras, but we're worried about where cameras are pointed.
Right.
We're moving me around on the stage and putting X's on the stage where we got to stand 4 cameras. Right. And that's
because this is show now,
If the audio goes out, or if we cut, we've lost power and lose Starlink, we get heckled. right?
Oh,
And
yeah.
it's
You can only imagine.
it's outside our control, right? But we're trying our best, and I got to thank the guys that do the coverage, because I just stand up there and talk, and it's made the show. It's a show, right? Jason always says it's a show. It's a show. It's not a tournament. It's a show.
Mm-hmm.
And the more guys that get on board with that, the better it's going to be. And I think the NWT allowing them to film both days. And I'll tell you right now, from running tournaments, filming, I can only imagine what it's like in the boat, having to worry about if you're catching fish and your live stream's running, right? Like, that's a whole nother thing you got to think about, that camera's on.
That's a distraction.
That's my excuse. I can only focus on one thing at a time. So that's fishing. Nor do I
be the same way. Live streams and a bunch of boats. You know what, David? Honestly, it's a great idea. Yes, it should happen, but it's so damn complicated because everybody's got to have their own Starlink. You got to have equipment, and to have that is super hard. You almost need someone in the boat with you doing just that, and you can't have that. It's just too much. So we're lucky to get the boats that we do, the guys that have decided they're going to live with the distraction, still try to win a tournament, participate, and get a check. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
But I just have to say that it is very, very, very hard, and be patient with walleye fishing tournaments, because it's coming. Things are going to get simplified and going to be easier. Maybe better cell signals, maybe better Wi-Fi signals. I don't know, but I think everybody should be very happy with what they got this year out of the National Walleye Tour. I hate to say I didn't even pay attention to Masters Walleye Circuit. I don't know why. Not at all. So
I'm optimistic on what's going to happen next year. Not that we've heard too much about next year. There's a lot of details that no one knows, that hopefully gets that we get a little bit more of that at the championship, that I think we will. But yeah, just seeing the changes that they've already made this year, that's, I think, in a positive direction compared to where we were the last couple of years. Hopefully we're trending in the right direction.
As a fan, it made me very happy.
A lot of rumors flying around, and we won't be the show that spreads these rumors, and I don't want anyone to talk about them. So I think my concern, and this is a question for you, is, we're going to take the top, whatever. Let's just say we're taking out of pure, not just to throw a number on it, we're taking 100 boats to go to next year. My fear going forward is, where's the guys coming up from? Where's the feeder programs, right? Like the Elite Series has all the EQs that are building these guys, that's their whole goal, right? And you tell me that, hey, each one of your events or your team of the year gets a chance to go to this. I might get a few guys to sign up because of that, but I don't think I'm going to see a lot of jump. And a lot of the guys, if they win it, what's going to happen? Are they going to take that bid?
Yeah. There's, like I said, that's where there's still, I think, a lot of unknowns that we just don't. I'm reading that here, but he's giving me some crap that I just turn it on day 2. But yeah, like I said, at the championship, I hope there's a lot more details that come out, and like that. Obviously there's going to be guys that don't, like, is there going to be qualification? Like, you're going to get knocked out? How is that all going to work? But like I said, hopefully that gets resolved after in a week or 2. But
I'm optimistic for it, and as a fan, right, take my tournament running hat off and an angler hat off, and as a fan, like, it's going to be cool to know these 100 guys are going. Right.
Yeah.
We play Bassmaster fantasy fishing.
Right.
Like, and I really only been in the Bassmaster stuff for a couple of years watching what they're doing, but it's a lot of fun. I got guys that do our fantasy league that never watched bass fishing before. And I said, hey, do you want to throw in the fantasy league? And they're like, yep. And now they're like, I love it. And I can't wait for the fan experience to grow around. We can cheer on Jacob at every event next year because I'm picking you. It's a bad thing because you're at all of them, but we know he's at every event next year.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's going to be the same field. I mean, Bill Shimoda has been saying that for years, and it's going to be nice that that's something that the fans can get in on and be a part of, knowing, and you got the same, I would imagine it's going to be 100 guys. I mean, I don't know if that's even clear yet, but it's going to be the exact same 100 guys the entire year, and you can have something like that. That's going to bring people in to just be more involved with it and have something to do with it.
Yeah, right.
Guys are asking, like, me, like, why isn't there a fantasy for walleye fishing? I said, well, a couple reasons. Number one, we don't know who's in it until they take off the next morning. But 9 times out of 10, you don't know who's in it till you sit there and watch after weigh-ins are over. So you don't know until day 1's completed. Number two, you don't know who these, I'll just pick on Jason Stahl, right? Like Jason Stahl won Mobridge. And I hate the word jackpotter. I mean, there's all kinds of things. There's kinds of things that they deserve to go out there. A lot of these guys don't have a lot of room to grow and whatever. Jobs don't let them travel. But, who's going to pick Jason Stahl when you got a list of the guys you've followed for 10 years, right? It's almost impossible to do it. So
that's what makes it fun now, though, because we're going to know boat numbers. We're going to know who's in it, and hopefully they have a biography page where we get to know people on the website, and we get a little something on each and every one of the anglers. I think that's important.
We got Trapper tuning in. He said he's a little late.
So good, Trapper.
Just getting through a few comments here. It'll grow the MWC for guys. Maybe. I don't
want to get to the next level. Yeah, or you know what? Why not?
That's my problem is I don't know. I don't know if that will grow it because they had the chance to fish the MWC right now. And if you're fishing as a 2-person team, if Jacob and Corey fall out and they both get in the MWC together, who's getting the spot? Are they both? Like, that's what's got to be cleaned up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
100%.
So we got a question. They still having coves next year. As far as we know, right? The coves are still a thing.
As far as we know, we don't know anything. We don't know anything. So
they've been pretty secretive. I'm really surprised at how well they've kept the secret, right?
The last thing pretty much the last update that we got was it went from 60 anglers to 80 anglers, and I'm pretty sure that was our last update that we got.
Yep. And if we do a fantasy walleye, Scott Pitlick says Danny's steering bucket
E. There you go. That's a good one. I know I talked to Jeff a few weeks ago, probably now, maybe 3 weeks ago or so, because I've had a bunch of guys calling and asking about the NTC. And he's like, we haven't figured anything out yet, but when we're ready, like, hey, I get it. I've been, I don't even know what to tell people now, except for Jeff said, sit tight. The information's coming.
Yeah. So, I mean, going to next year, you're pretty excited. Obviously you're qualified. I mean, there's no way you're not qualified. What is the outlook for you? Is this a lifelong goal to keep going at this? Like what's the outcome? What is the next step for Jacob?
I take it day by day. I mean, I still got a full-time job that, again, those unknowns. I mean, if they go add another tournament into the series, I don't know that I'll be able to do it. I mean, my job is what pays my bills. So it's not like I can just go and ask for another week of vacation. I get 4 weeks of vacation, and I take 5 weeks to do this. So I'm pretty blessed that they work with me quite a bit for that as well. So entry fees, they could, if we're going to a limited number of guys, we could go from $2,000 entries to $4,000 entries. Right. That might I might not like that either. So,
well, and that's been the question all year when they said 60, you know, that was the number. And I'm like, doing the math, and math only math so long, like eventually it's going to have to go up in entry fees. And if you say the top 60 go and it's 2,000 this year and it's 6,000 next year, how many of those top 60s are going to say, I can't do it?
Right.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, I got the sponsors that I got are pretty good, but I mean, a lot of this, and since pretty much I started, I pretty much have been funding myself. So
yeah,
I mean, which I'm able to, but I would have more money in my bank account if I didn't do it, but I absolutely love competing, and I love competing against, I mean, the guys that I've been around for since I started this are just, it's a great community of guys to fish against, and it's fun to do. But like I said, I don't want to be negatively optimistic, or I was going to say negatively optimistic. That doesn't make sense.
Or pessimistic.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So
glass half empty.
I just want to know once we figure out exactly what, and then have a better idea. But I would say my overall goal, like I always say, is that I at least want to win one of these before I'm done. I haven't won one yet, so I'm close a couple times, and that's before I'm done. I want to win one. So
well, it's probably going to happen. Let me pop this up and see if we can read it, because it's so John does this stuff, and I love these numbers.
That's great.
But here what you got. So in the money, you know, got you 27 checks this year. That's, you know, or not this year, but 27 checks over the course of how many years? Well, would that be 27 checks over the course of 60 events? Okay. You know, that's honestly, that's pretty respectable. Right? I mean,
it's helped get me going.
Sure.
It definitely doesn't cover the costs.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
it's enough to justify it to my wife to keep
home, right? It makes you feel a little better driving home.
Yeah, right. Oh, speaking of that, here, let me pop this up quick. There you go. Look at that. There's the family at home, right?
So we got some questions to get to, but since that came up, your wife's big into the dock jumping stuff, right?
Oh, yeah.
I've seen a lot of stuff on your Facebook about her taking those dogs and jumping them. That's pretty cool ordeal you got going on there.
I have my fishing, and she's got her dogs. So
that's pretty cool.
She just competed in Minot this last weekend at a Shields event, and Rip, our male lab that was on the left there, he took first place EV. Coda took second place on the right there. So they're pretty good. They're those three together are a pretty good team at the old Dogs. So awesome.
Did
I'm
she
glad
go to
she's
game
got
fair
that.
with them then? Did she go to game fair?
She travels.
Goes everywhere.
I don't even know all the, I mean, she's been Montana this year. She went to the Ozarks last year. I mean, she travels quite a bit to go to these places. So
awesome. Kurt, I see we're at 58. You better do what you got to do there.
Questions here. So, so guy, how did a guy get back in after next year? We don't know. We don't know, right? I mean, we don't know what that's going to look like. James wants to, would you like to see limited practice time? I think everybody would shake. I mean, there's very few that's going to, you know. Sheldon wants to know if you'd like to see an East and West division with the championship.
That would be nice to see too. That would be interesting to see that format like that.
Yeah. Trapper, correct me if I'm wrong, but you're one of the guys that's fished every one since the NWT started, right?
Yep.
So
yeah, that's pretty amazing.
13 years and never
missed a tournament.
Never missed one.
Right.
Never missed one.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, that is. Congrats to you on that. That's a big deal.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
How does the Walleye Pro get to $1 million? Start with $2 million.
Start with 2, if not 3.
Well, Jacob, we appreciate your time tonight. We covered a lot of stuff. We appreciate you. We look forward to watching you. You're one of my favorites. I like to cheer on, and that would be, wish you very well in the championship. But one thing we like to ask all our guests, we call it the Mount Rushmore. If you could fish with 4 people living past any 4 people you could spend one day in the boat with, maybe you spend a day in the boat with them, who would the 4 people you get in the boat with is?
There's 4 people.
Yep.
I'm just going to throw my wife out there, but then I'm going to go my dad and both my grandpas. My one grandpa I got to know most of my life, that fished all the time, but then my other grandpa, he died when I was pretty young, never got to know, but they had a cabin in Minnesota and loved to spend some time with them. So
nostalgia fix. Yeah, good. You know, it's a hard question to answer. You did it rather quickly, so
most people are like, "Oh, I can't answer that right away." So
right.
Northeast Iowa, I think 24/7. Oh, he thinks Wally's 24/7.
I mean, just throwing this out there too. Put this on national stuff. I mean, I met my wife for the first time, although she's from Bismarck too. I met her at a boat dock in Red Wing, Minnesota, for the first time. That was in 2015. And then,
that's cool.
Now we're married. So
just happened to be there. She was she stopped or quit one job and was in between jobs, and she ended up pre-fishing with me the whole week that week. And okay.
Regular
That's awesome.
old
That's a
love
good story. Glad you told that. I'm glad I had a picture of your wife and the 2 dogs too, because it got us into away from fishing just a little bit. But we appreciate you taking time and hanging out with us. Thank you much.
Yeah,
good luck to you too.
I always tell people before we jump off is half the reason we do tournaments and this stuff is the friendships we make along the way, right? I mean, the people you probably talk to on a daily basis now, a lot of them probably come from the walleye world, your tournament worlds, right? I mean, we surround ourselves with people that like the same stuff, and that's what the best thing tournaments can do is bring it all together. So, and Scott Pitlick says Alabama rig. Alabama rig. I wonder when's that going to be the next walleye phenom is the Alabama rig.
Sure.
And I don't remember if
I can't say that I've tried it, but I don't know why it wouldn't work.
PWT, I think the PWT was limited practice, if I remember right. I don't remember for sure. So
there was one thing I hope for limited practice, being a guy with a full-time job, and I would say the majority of the guys are full-timers too. So
I agree with you. John, thanks for the numbers.
Not adding event, if anything, may reduce. Interesting. So
he's the guy that knows things too. So
right on. Yeah, Mr. Statistics.
Well, we want to get you on one of these days and talk about all those statistics you have. So
that would be fun. Yeah, that would be fun to have him on. No doubt.
WCM bidder, and then same time as your championship, the fall brawl, get signed up for it. So I know Jacob was going to be. I would have sent the text to Jacob, but he's kind of busy.
Right on.
So thank you. Thanks for your time, buddy. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks for having me on. Thanks so much. You betcha. Take care. Thank you.